Good evening. You are listening to another episode of Black Man Into the Wild. I'm blessed to be here with you all tonight, and I'm blessed to have you here with me as well. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the rise of plant-based meats and agricultural technology. A good friend of mine and a supporter of the podcast, he actually sent me the name of this company to look into a couple of months ago, a company based in Singapore called Shiok Meats. Still in the research and development phase with plans to commercialize by 2023, Shiok Meats is a cultivated meat and seafood company, the first of its kind actually, in Singapore and Southeast Asia. Fun fact, in Singapore, the word Shiok is slang for fantastic, delicious, and simply pleasure. Now, when you go to their website, you see the company is on a mission to bring delicious, sustainable, and healthy seafood to your table, using their agricultural technology to grow meat from healthy cells instead of animals. The company currently produces crustaceans like shrimps, crabs, and lobsters, and are the first in the world to do so using this cellular agricultural tech. Now, being that this is still a relatively new company, there wasn't really too much more information out there about what they have planned at this point, at least that I could find when I looked. However, 2023 is right around the corner, so it will be interesting to see if their products eventually do make it over here to the United States. I don't see why they wouldn't. McDonald's is expanding a test of their McPlant burger created with Beyond Meat. And for those who don't know, Beyond Meat, based in Los Angeles and with products available in over 80 countries worldwide, they offer plant-based meat options for beef, pork, and poultry. Starting in February, Mickey D's will begin rolling out the burger at roughly 600 locations in the San Francisco and Dallas-Fort Worth areas. Additionally, Kentucky Fried Chicken and Beyond Meat are kicking off the new year with a Kentucky Fried Miracle, as the highly anticipated plant-based Beyond Fried Chicken makes its nationwide debut, beginning Monday, January 10th. So for just about 2 weeks now, these have been on the market. KFC restaurants across the U.S. will offer to customers Beyond Fried Chicken. And what do you know? Chipotle just added a plant-based chorizo to their menu too. However, they're ignoring Beyond and Impossible's fake meat in favor of creating their own. Now, I will say I have tried it a couple of times already. That is, Chipotle's plant-based new chorizo. And if we're being honest, I do have mixed feelings. But before we really can even get into reviewing the taste, I think the question we want to try and answer is, are plant-based meat alternatives better? But before we get started, as always, if you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share with your friends if you like what you hear. Now, I do want to start by looking at some lines here I found from an article published in The Defender, Children's Health Defense News and Views, an opinion here. And, as someone who stopped eating animal meat roughly 5 years ago, as a way to, at the time, I thought improve my diet and overall health. After reading through this, I'm thinking about, my approach a little bit differently now, and have actually contemplated recently going back to eating real animal meat, maybe in the near future. We'll see. This article is titled, Bill Gates, Let Them Eat Fake Meat. It says, one of Gates' most recent promotions is his prescriptions of synthetic foods for developed countries as a means to combat climate change. In a recent interview with the MIT Technology Review, Gates says he thinks, quote, all rich countries should move to 100% synthetic beef. But the thing is, these alternative meats or plant-based foods I'm learning are being introduced to replace farm-raised animal products with, in some cases, highly processed food grown in labs. And this has all been made possible through technical innovations in synthetic biology, most of which involves reconfiguring or manipulating the DNA of an organism really to create something entirely new. For instance, plant-based meat companies, it says here, like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods, use a DNA coding sequence from soybeans or peas to create a product that looks and tastes like real meat. Some companies are also investing in, now this is like our Shiok meats that we talked about in the beginning there, also investing in cell-based meat grown from real animal cells, but it has not yet reached the market. Now, don't be fooled, all right? The industrial meat industry giants, the ones we're all familiar with, they're also profiting from this blossoming market. Meat producers like Tyson Foods, Nestle, Cargill, Maple Leaf Foods, and even Purdue Farms are all thriving on this trend, selling products like plant-based sausages, burgers, and ground beef largely made from, those pea or soy proteins that, the article mentions here a couple of times. All of these companies are backed by high-ranked billionaires and big tech investors. I'm not surprised there. Bill Gates alone has invested $50 million in Impossible Foods and actively finances Beyond Meat and similar companies through his Breakthrough Energy Ventures Fund. In a 2021 interview with 60 Minutes, Gates said that alternative protein innovation will be a core part to the fight to halt global heating, with current forms of animal agriculture accounting for a whopping 18% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Ironically, let's see, these plant-based meat alternatives, which claim to save animals, water, and the environment, are instead directly contributing to a food system that is threatening global biodiversity. Wow. So, even though I know I need to read more into some of these claims made and, do some more of my own research, of course, it does make me wonder for the past 5 years or so if I really have been making, a healthier or a better decision to not eat animal meat, that is real animal meat, and instead go with the plant-based alternatives when given the option. I really don't know, though. One of my favorite restaurants right now, Pine State Biscuits in Portland, I personally think they have the best breakfast in the city, but that's for another episode. On their menu, I like to get what's called the Veggie Reggie Deluxe. So good. It's this egg, sausage, and bacon biscuit smothered in mushroom gravy, except the sausage patty is actually some type of veggie sausage patty, and then they substitute the pork bacon for this soy alternative. But if no one told me, I was eating a plant-based egg and sausage biscuit, I would really have no idea. Now, I don't want to spend too much time, talking more about KFC or McDonald's new plant-based menu items, although the McPlant is a hilarious name for a sandwich. That being said, I have been known to frequent the local Chipotles in my area, so let's see what they're bringing to the table in 2022. If you haven't been to Chipotle yet this year, I'm here to tell you that your favorite Mexican grill is back with a highly anticipated new menu offering, plant-based chorizo. Chipotle's Chief Marketing Officer, Chris Brandt, in a recent media release said, quote, plant-based chorizo is their best chorizo ever and proves that you don't have to sacrifice flavor to enjoy a vegan or vegetarian protein. Now, the only person I know who would truly be able to determine if this is a true statement or not is my man Pizza Steve back in Cleveland. When it comes to food, I know that there are two things that man loves, pizza and for some reason chorizo. And again, I've tried Chipotle's new plant-based chorizo a couple of times this year already, and I thought that it added, some additional texture to my burrito bowl. But personally, I couldn't really identify or taste anything that made it stand out as the best or really even a step above. Traditional chorizo is known for its deep, rich flavor with a bite of spice. And Chipotle says their plant-based version features chipotle peppers, ripe tomato paste, crushed garlic, Spanish smoked paprika, and extra virgin olive oil combined with natural pea protein. All I could taste was the pea protein and the smoked paprika. It's certified vegan and free of artificial flavors, colors, preservatives, grains, gluten, and soy. And it contains 6 grams of fiber and 16 grams of protein in every 4-ounce serving. So after all that, is plant-based better? After everything we've, read here today, I don't know. Who am I to call it? But I will say it probably would be difficult, I think, for me to just all of a sudden up and start eating real animal meat again. I do know that I don't necessarily like the idea of big tech, involved with my food. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's, definitely something up with those guys.